conclude the Starrcade 1998 installment of the Memorial Tour here on the Lapsed Fan Wrestling Podcast, we present a very special interview with one Kevin Nash himself now.
You have fun with that. I'm out. I'm out of here. I'm not part of this. This is going to get nasty.
Well, some dirty business has been dispensed with here on the Lapsed Fans Starrcade Memorial Tour as we put Starrcade 1998, a night that will live in WCW infamy, in the books. And I have to say I'm surprised that he's agreed to do this. I'm pleased, while at the same time skeptical, jaded.
What for? What are you skeptical about?
I look askance at our next guest here on the Lapsed Fan Starrcade Memorial Tour, here to speak up for the Starrcade 98 finish we have so lampooned here.
You're looking at askance? I'm looking at a nice Picasso on my wall.
Would that be pre-Cubism? Here on the Lapsed Fan, a very special guest to talk about the Goldberg match, to talk about ending the streak, to talk about whether or not Starrcade 1998 is correctly framed as the true beginning of the end for World Championship Wrestling. It's the man who triumphed in that main event to become WCW World Heavyweight Champion for the very first time. It's Kevin Nash. Welcome to the Lapsed Fan.
Yeah, you're welcome.
First of all, are you high right now?
I'm doing all right.
That wasn't the question. Are you drunk? You know, maybe some red wine before we sat down tonight? A couple glasses? Maybe a little Riesling?
Yeah, I had a bottle or two. I had one at dinner. I had one for dessert. Sipping away right now. Keeping it classy. Keeping it low-key.
So, no big deal then.
Yeah. Look, you sat me down here. What the fuck do you want to talk to me about?
Well, I suppose we should get right into it.
Jesus.
I just want to get a sense of your state of mind beforehand. It's hard enough to tell when you're being truthful and not sarcastic to the max, let alone when you're buzzed.
Look, I'm always being truthful. I'm always being honest. I'm a straight shooter. I only shoot. I'm not going to work you over.
Then what is the deal with that fucking smirk on your face all the time? Like you don't mean every other word that comes out of your mouth. Like we're all stupid for actually buying into the words you choose.
I'm smiling because I'm in a good mood.
All right.
Because I had a good fucking day because I didn't lose all my fucking money.
Well, I think we can all agree that that is a good day. A day when we don't lose all of our money is a good day. And Mr. Nash, if nothing else, I have to give you credit for being able to hoard money throughout the course of your career. I stand in awe of your ability to do that relative to your abilities in the ring.
Look, the bottom line is there are guys who can draw. There are guys who are big stars. We all get that. Everyone gets that chance. But if you don't grasp that brass ring, you're not going to make shit. I did. I grabbed that brass ring. It was shown to me. And I said, fuck it, I'm going to go for it. Look where I am now. You're coming to me for an interview. I don't need shit from you.
That's true, besides the $2,000 you charged me, but that's neither here nor there. Let me ask you, you've said it's important.
Hey, that's a courtesy. Okay.
What is?
A courtesy.
What is? Taking $2,000 out of my pocket to lie to me for a half hour?
Damn right. I would have gladly charged you $10,000 for taking my time. So that's a courtesy to you.
Have another sip. All right. You've said, Kevin Nash, that it's important to remember that before Starrcade 1998, there were some crowds around the WCW circuit, house shows, TV tapings, who were chanting, Goldberg sucks. And they were having to pipe in the Goldberg crowd chant. You say these things as if to indicate that there really was no choice. It was becoming, the wave was cresting an anti-Goldberg sentiment at WCW at the time, and thus the streak had to end at your feet at Starrcade 98.
Go ahead.
Okay, thanks. Let me ask you, because some crowds chant Goldberg sucks, why does that necessarily mean beat him as soon as possible?
Because you got to stop the bleeding. When you got a guy that's your champion, all right, you got a guy who's your champion, and he's standing up there, and the fans are telling him that he sucks. The fans are not telling him that he sucks. They're telling you in the back that he sucks. They're telling me that he sucks. They're telling Eric Bischoff that he sucks. They're telling Hulk Hogan that he sucks. All right? You got to stop that bleeding.
What
Hey,
bleeding?
if you can.
What bleeding? The ratings were just fine. I mean, pay-per-view was doing very well. You're not saying. I mean, he's the only reason that WCW didn't lose ground to WWF much earlier in 1998.
What was the hottest selling T-shirt at the time?
What the fuck does that have to do with anything?
Hey, we're selling merchandise. We're pushing numbers.
Yeah.
We're pushing dollars.
Well, I mean, I know that the Wolfpack shirt was selling very well in 1998. Is that what you're getting at?
Yeah. That's exactly what I'm getting at.
So we got to put the belt on the top merchandise seller. That's
you got to put, and because I'm the biggest draw there. Can't you see that the Wolfpack is the biggest draw? I'm the leader of the Wolfpack.
I can't really see it.
It just makes perfect sense.
If you're the biggest draw, then why were there such precipitous declines as soon as you hit that headlining singles position in 98?
Me, I didn't even get a chance. I don't know what you're talking about. What? I go out there, I beat Goldberg. Within 2 weeks, I'm losing the belt to Hogan. I didn't do anything.
Oh, here we fucking go. Look, you broke off on your own as the leader of the Wolfpack in 98. Prior to that, your drawing power was kind of like baked into Hogan's drawing power and the Outsiders' drawing power.
Hey,
and
look,
the NWO.
I was generating tons of heat before Hogan even stepped foot in the NWO.
Well, that's true. It was a monumental occasion, and it was a ground-shaking event when you and Scott showed up on Nitro. I'm not denying that. But when the time came, Kev, in 98, for you to be the man leading the charge on the NWO Black and Red versus Hogan leading the NWO charge Black and White, people stopped giving a fuck. I think there's ample evidence of that when it became clear that you were the guy that we had to get behind.
Maybe I've got excellent hearing, but are you fucking deaf? Did you hear the pop that I got when I beat Goldberg?
I'm not.
I mean, this is what it is. This is the wrestling business.
I mean, you can get a pop. You can get a pop in an arena that is not full. You can get a pop on a television show where ratings are declining and the booking patterns in place are responsible for that rating.
Look at you right now. You're a fucking mark for this shit. All right? Look,
let me ask you, Kev.
I'm giving you plain and simple facts.
Let me ask you, Kev.
You're trying to say to me that I was the downfall of shit when I'm telling you right now that I was fucking money.
Well, I guess in your world, Kev, if you just say it, it's so, right?
Not my world, man. It's in the fucking books.
Is anybody who challenges you, can anybody challenge you and not be a mark?
Yeah, sure.
Really?
Scott's challenged me. HBK's challenged me. I lay down for those guys.
Let me circle back to the idea of Goldberg sucks chance necessitating the ending of the streak. Where would the WWE be, Kevin Nash, if, let's say, they beat Cena as soon as possible when people started chanting, Cena sucks?
Yeah, but he wasn't losing money. That's the thing about it. Cena was drawing big bucks. You don't, just because Cena's getting...
Goldberg was losing money. That's your contention.
Look, the difference is Goldberg wasn't the top-selling guy.
Did you see the Georgia Dome gate from July when he beat Hogan?
I asked you to go back and see how many T-shirts he sold that night.
Fucking T-shirts again. I mean, what are you selling?
Merchandise. Look, every guy is a franchise.
Merchandise is like
every
small percentage of the
Hey, I'm sorry. Did you ever work a match? Have you ever gone out there and ever walked down that aisle, listen to the crowd, conduct your match based on the heat of the crowd?
Yeah, a real crowd psychologist you were, Kev. A real doctorate in the ways of the ring.
Hey, look, I'm not selling my expertise in the ring. God knows I'm not the best worker in the world. You know, I was able to work around people who were better than me to carry me to some of the best matches. But the bottom line is, you don't know what you're talking about. You can sit there in your fancy room and type it on your laptop about whatever shit you want about the business, but unless you've walked through that curtain, you don't know what you're talking about.
So therefore, this interview's over, right?
No, I'll give you a chance.
Okay.
I'll give you your money's worth.
You see, because what I don't understand...
That one was for free.
Because the sense I get is that if you actually did it, if you worked in the business, then you just have this myopic point of view on the business where everything you did was right, everything everybody else did was wrong. You never failed. Things were never your fault. And that's just universal. I
I
mean,
did the look for
it
me. I
seems to
did the
me that if you do work in the business, you can't see the forest for the trees, not the opposite.
look. I am a cultured man.
Yeah.
All right. You can have all these other guys, who sit around and live and breathe the business. I'm a guy who goes around. I like watching sports. I like talking sports. I like I go to the art museum. How many guys, how many fans, including yourself, go to the when you're in New York City, go to the Museum of Modern Art? I do. It's the
I've
first thing I do. And then I get up the next morning, I'll go do that again. I'll go to Amsterdam to look at some Van Goghs. I mean, for God's sake, you're talking to me like I've got this narrow mind. I've got a multicultured mind.
Well, Kev, the patronizing stuff, like because you look at paintings on a wall, and I don't think that's going to get us very far. We're trying to have a constructive discussion here about,
I'm
what,
open. I'm here
what.
to tell the truth.
Okay, all right. So let's separate fact from fiction
Yeah.
as it regards Starrcade '98 and WCW. You say it's proof that you weren't after Goldberg's streak, that you never went ahead and bragged about it, that you won't see any evidence of you anywhere saying, I ended Goldberg's streak, and so there was no, equity in it for you. Um, Let me direct your attention to Exhibit A.
Oh, hold on.
You shut up. What you did last night was you robbed Hollywood Hogan of the belt. You know it, and you know it. And don't you jump bad. You might have 200 wins, but baby, you got one loss, and you're looking at it.
Mr. President.
Hey.
So to me, that's you holding over Goldberg's head, a card you can play at any opportune moment the second he might begin to eclipse you and threaten your spot in the organization, that you can pull that card. I mean, what's the difference between what we just heard and bragging?
I mean, it's not bragging. I'm adding depth to Goldberg's character. I'm that one guy. I'm adding drama by doing that because then you know what? Then he's got a goal. He's got a storyline. When's he going to beat Kevin Nash? That's what it is. It's all in the fans' minds. I mean, it's all art.
So you're going to tell me that you basically big league in Goldberg on Nitro by reminding everybody that he's got a loss to you helps him?
Absolutely, because it makes him look like a guy who's on a mission. I mean, I'm handing this shit out for free to him. All right, I'm saying here, look, here's my hand. Come and fucking beat me. It's up to him at that point to do the job.
Well, it sounds like you were nothing if not generous in your wrestling career, Kev.
Absolutely. I'm always thinking about the business as a whole.
Yeah, the business being Kevin Nash Enterprises, LLC.
I don't have that company.
It begs the question, to me at least, Mr. Nash, if you didn't want bragging rights about ending the streak or any other thing like that, then why did it have to be you to end the streak? Wouldn't it have made more sense to use that kind of momentous occasion to boost a lower guy, maybe create a new star that you can get more mileage out of?
Hey, look, I'm all for that, whoever it is. But they pointed to me. They said, Kev, go out and do it. Hogan said it. Hogan said, Kev, it's got to be you, man.
Hogan said it?
Yeah. I mean, look, when you get a guy who's tanking like Goldberg and they're saying, who's going to be the guy to save the company? And they said, hey, Kev, you go do it. I said, all right. Yeah, I'll do whatever's best for business.
Tanking. Goldberg was tanking? That's your contention? Really?
I think that he would have been tanking, yeah. I think that
well,
maybe
there's a difference there. Would have been.
I think he was on his way. Absolutely. When the fans start turning against you like that, it's only a matter of time.
Why don't you think they've ever turned against you?
Hey, you tell me. You're a fan.
Oh, all of a sudden my opinion matters now.
Nope. Doesn't matter. I'm not saying it does. I'm saying you tell me. Why haven't they turned against me?
I would have to say it's because you've erected a force field around yourself wherein you can shoot a sarcastic look.
What does that mean, a force field?
You've got this.
What are we, in a fucking science fiction movie now?
Sometimes it feels that way. You travel in this bubble in this business where no one can penetrate your sarcastic, the bubble that you're in. And it creates this dynamic where whenever someone tries to get over on you, you can just introduce this element of nonchalance, above the fray, where
Look,
no one gets to you. And if
if
no
it
one
was,
gets to you, you're
let
not
me
a good
say
wrestling
this:
performer.
if it was that easy, then everyone would be doing it.
I'm not. I admire that ability in you. I have to say, I've never seen anybody monetize the talent that they have better than you on a
Appreciate that.
ratio,
Thank you.
on a ratio basis. I mean, no one has ever had less talent and made more money in
Hey,
this
you know
industry.
what? I always say it. It's like an ATM machine. If you walked by an ATM machine, it was just spouting out 20s. You'd sit there and you'd be grabbing that money. And when would you go? Why would you leave? Well, you'd leave when the ATM machine was stop spouting money.
And you made sure every last dollar fell out before you took a step, didn't you? You didn't stop and think, hey, maybe I ought to alert somebody to the fact that these people are bleeding money and it's becoming obscene.
Hey, I'm bringing in the money. That's
Mhm.
just it. I'm bringing it in. You got to pay me what's right. Company's getting it too. It's a business. It's what it is.
It is a business. It is certainly a business. So, all right. So you say it wasn't another. You would have been fine with another guy ending Goldberg's streak. It's just everybody else that was just saying,
Everyone came to me.
yeah, yeah. How did you feel about that? Did you feel humbled?
Of course I did. I'm like, hey, if you guys feel that strongly about me, I'll absolutely do it. I mean, they said basically saying to me that I'm the guy, and that I was red hot at the time. I was hot as a fucking fire, and it made sense on a business level.
Well, Kev, if it made sense on a business level,
Yeah.
why did WCW fall off a fucking cliff in 1999?
So you had people fucking mismanaging the place, like Vince Russo and Ed Ferrara.
Yeah, but business was tanking way before they came in. I mean, 1999 was one of the most dramatically disastrous years of any company in wrestling history, and it started with this idea that we'll reform the NWO on the first Nitro of the year, the finger poke of doom. I mean, you're there, you're front and center in the angle that breeds nothing but decline.
I think if they kept the belt on me, business would have been different.
Oh, really?
I do.
How would it have been different? How would you have reigned throughout 1999 as world champion?
I think I would have been a fair champion.
What
I
does
would have
that
given
mean?
a lot of people chances, and that would have been that. And then when the right guy comes along, the right guy that we can build up, glad he laid down for him.
So you're saying you would have done that if the right guy came along?
Absolutely.
Now let me ask: who had the ability? Who's the judge in the court of determining the right guy? Is it you? I had the feeling it would be you. It would be you, wouldn't it?
Look, I can't judge it with another. I go by the crowd. All right. I listen to the crowd. What they say, they want that guy. Hey, go ahead. I'll lay down for him.
You've often said and pointed out that you weren't officially the WCW booker until February of 1999. Of course,
No, I wasn't.
2 months after. You have a pay stub to prove it or something like that.
I keep all my pay stubs.
Why?
I'm very meticulous about my money.
That's apparent.
I am a parent. I've got a son.
How's he doing, by the way?
He's doing great. He's doing all right. He gets one jackknife a night.
All right, so you're not the booker until February. So you're saying, when you say that, you are saying that you had no stroke or sway over your match finishes 2 months before that. That's the line, February.
Look, it's plain and simple. I'll tell you what was going on behind the scenes. Fans were chanting Goldberg sucks in the buildings. Not chanting Nash sucks. I want you to know that. All right? I say something. Fans listen. They had to start pumping the Goldberg chants throughout the PA system, make him seem popular.
We've heard all this before. The question is, did you not have any sway whatsoever in
I
whether
said
you
it
went?
already. Hogan and everybody else said, you got to beat him.
Did you have any say over your finishes in December 1998?
Why? Like, I get nothing out of it. All right? Like I said, I beat Goldberg and then Hogan beats me a week later. It makes no sense. I get nothing out of it. I had nothing to do with it.
Are you dodging the question?
I'm not dodging the question. I had nothing to do with it.
All right.
They said beat him. They booked me to win. I didn't book anything.
So to be
I wasn't
clear,
the booker until February of 99.
okay, there it is. You weren't the booker until February of 99. Is it not
You
true?
said it.
Well, you said it too. And I said it because you've said it before. I didn't just fucking plant that seed in my own head. I didn't see the pay stubs myself.
So what do you...
Here's what I'm saying. Didn't Bischoff have a meeting backstage at Nitro 2 weeks before Starrcade with the whole locker room and announce that you and Dallas were joining the booking team?
In February. Until then, I had no power.
For God's sakes. We're going to believe that. We're supposed to believe that. We're supposed to make that distinction on your behalf.
Ask Dallas. He'll tell you the same damn story.
I'm sure he will. I'm not looking to talk to coached people. You can't just part with the truth of the matter, which is that you saw to it that you went over Goldberg and stayed strong in the weeks leading up to his detriment as opposed to his benefit.
Goldberg's a nice cat. All right. Good for him. He got some success. I'm not booking the show. I do what they say.
Oh, fuck me.
I don't see what the big mystery is. I mean, fuck. I mean,
it's not a mystery. It's just lying. That's just lying. That's all it is.
Lying. There's not. Look, it's all in the books. It says it right there.
Yeah.
Nash wasn't booking the damn show until February of 99, so I had no say.
Why is everyone who challenges you a mark?
Because they don't see the business for what it is.
What is it?
It's a fucking television show. It's about entertaining fans. It's not about which wrestler is your favorite. He's got to go over. No. It's about selling merchandise. It's about selling tickets. It's about selling commercials in between the matches.
Well, of course it is about that, but is it not also about, looking good in the ring and having good matches? And
look, you know what? This is the difference between me and everybody else. Scott and I, we used to do this backstage. You could beat us any day of the week, but because we, on our worst day, were better than anybody else on their best day on the mic, we could stay over. You could beat us 1,000,000 times and would still be over.
Well, then,
not about matches.
If that were true, why didn't people beat you all the time then? Why did you always have to fucking win if you were so Teflon against losses?
You're talking to me like I had this kind of magical control over who wrote and booked the matches.
Yes, I am. That's exactly what I'm doing. With the exception of Hogan, that's exactly what you managed to do.
No,
and it was to no one's benefit but your own.
I didn't start booking the matches until February of 99. We're going to keep doing this. We're going to do this, go around in these circles like we're on a fucking carousel.
Yeah.
Is that how you want to spend your money?
Yeah, I do feel like I'm in a carnival. I do.
Yeah.
And I'm in the carousel, and I'm getting spun. I'm in the fucking spin cycle right now. Okay?
You got to get a grip, buddy.
Yeah, well, the WCW kind of died because of you.
You're sitting here, you're in my house, and you're fucking yelling at me.
Okay, Flo Rida. All right, so let's talk about this then. When Chris Benoit and Eddie Guerrero, rest in peace, win the titles at WrestleMania 20.
I want to say that. Guy's a fucking murderer. Rest in hell.
Touche. Okay? You win that one. When they hug at WrestleMania 20 after having won the belts, you called it at one point the end of the business. You say that, that. And I always wanted to ask you, by the end of the business, do you mean healthier houses and pay-per-view revenue than you were able to do when you were on top in the WWF?
I mean, look, we've all had our down periods. I admit that. I didn't sell a lot of house shows. All right. I wasn't making a lot of money. So I went over and changed my fortune. I'm telling you right now, you got to have look, when I broke into the business, all right, when I was there, you got these guys, 300 pounds. All right. I remember my first day on the job. I went there. I went inside the building into the locker room. I got fucking Harley Race over in the corner, lacing his boots, saying, that's the whole fucking ball game. smoking a cigarette with a fucking ash longer than my dick.
Is that the end of your answer?
No, I'm still going.
Okay. Pardon me.
And I'm saying, and that's what you looked for. You looked for guys who were larger than life. That's what sold tickets. Guys who had over the top personalities. Wrestling is an over the top business. Wrestling is a business that is so big. You got to have matching personalities.
But what about when the guys without those outsized personalities sell tickets and pay-per-views too? What about then?
Look at the numbers.
Yeah, I did.
How did they do? How did Benoit do after he won the belt? Business has never been the same. It's gone down since then. You're not looking at since when
They've
Benoit and Guerrero
gates,
won the when Benoit look when Benoit and Guerrero won the titles that year. Did it come close to selling the same kind of money that the Austin era did or Hogan's era, the NWO?
No, nobody's arguing their stars on par with that.
Look, you put two fucking
guys. But
guys
they outdrew you as champion, Mr. Nash. That's my point.
They didn't draw shit.
Oh, let's talk about your WWF run. Let's do it. And how you can possibly have any reputation as a draw after your run in New York.
I don't look. I said before, my run in New York wasn't the best.
Your average house show attendance when your time as champ, 2,961. Yep. That's lower than any other champ dating back to Hogan before you, if you don't count Bob Backlund's 3-day reign.
Mm-hmm.
What gives? How are you regarded as this
I don't
draw?
Understand. Look, I just said I obviously wasn't a huge draw. They took the belt off me. That was it. They took away my edge. All right? You're talking about they didn't let me be me.
Oh.
All right? Vince says, no. We want you to be Hogan. We want you to Hulk up. Well, all right. I don't think that's going to sell tickets, Vince. I don't think that's going to be. I said to Vince, I said, look, I think the thing is you got to look around. I said, did you see the movie Heat? With Al Pacino and Robert De Niro. And yeah. I said, who did you root for? I rooted for the bad guy. I said, yeah, that's right. We're coming to an age of an anti-hero. He didn't listen to me with me, but look who came after me. Steve Austin. I predicted that.
Don't you call yourself the prototype for Steve Austin.
I'm not saying I'm a prototype for nobody. I'm telling you, Steve Austin was because I put the idea in Vince McMahon's mind.
All right. Has anything that's ever gone wrong in your career your fault?
Absolutely.
Such as?
I'll get back to you on that one.
If you're so cool and collected, why do you have a 50 caliber pistol at home?
Well, a 50 caliber pistol is pretty cool and collected if you ask me.
It just makes me think that you're very anxious and paranoid. And I mean, I know you have problems sleeping.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I got problems sleeping. I came from a working class environment. Mm-hmm. When I was a kid, I grew up, in Detroit. I saw a lot of shit happen. I saw a lot of shit go down. So yeah, you know what? I'm a little concerned about people taking my shit. So I will gladly own a gun. Protect my family, protect my shit.
So
my Picassos.
So you have Picassos at home?
It's none of your business.
Well, I can respect that. I suppose I wouldn't want to admit that either. But I'd be armed to the teeth just in case, right?
Hey, you never know what's going to happen.
Now, are you more afraid of someone shooting at you because you have a gun in your house, or someone shooting on you in the ring?
Yeah, I saw what you were going to do there. I saw where you're going with that. Look, I'm not afraid of anybody shooting on me in the ring. All right, someone tries to pull something on me, I will gladly beat the shit out of them. Look, I've dealt with them all. All right, you got Roddy Piper sitting there in the back, getting angry at me for some match over in, Moline, Alabama or something like that. He comes up to me and he's yelling at me. I just pop him right in the head. Here he is, this guy who claims to be such a badass, beating Andre the Giant. You know what? I showed him who the badass is. I'm not afraid of anybody in the ring. I'm not afraid of anybody out of the ring either.
Well, I do have to thank you, Mr. Nash, for entering this arena and speaking your piece, helping us understand where you're coming from as we come to a rather infamous point in WCW history. I mean, do you feel responsible for the collapse of the company?
Absolutely not.
Who's responsible?
I would say the corporation, the Turner Group there, the AOL, Time Warner, they all brought it down. They all said, we don't want wrestling on our television station anymore. It's the way it goes, the way it crumbles. I will say this, that I think that I gave it a little bit of life. I think it would have died a little bit earlier. But I gave it a little bit of life at the end.
Finally, I want to read you, Kevin,
a
quote from a recent Kayfabe Commentaries shoot interview that you did. And I think we've already heard a taste of this here in this interview, but I wanted to repeat it back to you. Quote, no matter what you could do, Scott and I could dice you up with a microphone, make you look like an idiot, and then you could pin us and it wouldn't matter. So when it came to Goldberg, Kevin, why couldn't you have just put this fucking theory to the test?
The guy couldn't talk.
Oh.
I mean, he couldn't have.
This is a new one.
Look. The guy couldn't say anything. He couldn't have saved his ass. You know, I don't know what are you asking?
I'm asking if it didn't matter one iota to your ability to be over and stay over if you lost because of your ability on the stick. Why didn't you just fucking lose to Goldberg then?
Because I was trying to give him something. The one loss, see, that's exactly what I'm saying right there. Is that if he was so good as an all-around performer, he could have taken the loss, come back, shot me down, avenged the loss, and gone back on track. He didn't do it. He couldn't cut the mustard.
My closing statement, Kevin, looking back on all your contributions to World Championship Wrestling, to the World Wrestling Federation, and to the professional wrestling industry, just let me say, thanks for nothing.
Yeah, well, thanks for your $2,000.